right, boys and girls, it's time for STaR. So everybody stand up. Get your two little hands ready. Here we go. Two little hands go clap, clap, clap. Two little feet go tap, tap, tap. One little body turns round and round. One little body sits right down. So for today, our story is No Dragons for Tea. That's the name of our story. The author, Fire Safety for Kids and Dragons. The author is Jean Penzewell. So she wrote the words, and the illustrator is Martine Gerbault. That person made the pictures. So look at the cover of our story. Let's look at the pictures. What is happening in this picture? It looks like a dragon is having a tea party, right, with a little girl? Well, the title is No Dragons for Tea. That makes me wonder why the dragon is in the picture. If there are no dragons for tea, then why is he there? Do you have any thoughts about the story? Do you wonder anything about it? All right, well, let's read our story. Actually, before we read our story, let's take a picture walk. Remember, that's when we look at the pictures and try to think about what the story's about, try to see what's going on without reading the words. Let's open it up and look at some of the pictures. Okay. So here it looks like we got a little girl on a wagon with some toys. And it looks like maybe Mom is behind her, right? Okay. And then, oh no! What happened? That doesn't look like a good picture, does it? Look at the dragon's face, the little girl's face, and oh no, he's rushing to get the teddy bear. I wonder what happened. Well, then it looks like maybe that little girl's playing with the dragon at the beach. There they are. They're still at the beach. Oh, and then there they're sitting. They're having some food. Oh, that dragon doesn't look too happy there. Looks like something maybe bothered him. Oh no! It looks like maybe he had some pepper in that shaker and it made him sneeze. Look, out came some fire. Oh no, they look a little worried. It looks like that dragon's hiding. Are you ready to read it and see what it's about? I am too. All right. No Dragons for Tea. One warm, sunny day at the end of last week, my mom and I went for a walk to the creek. As I raced down the hill in my little red wagon, I veered to the left and smacked into a dragon. I suppose he could see there was fear in my eyes as I jumped to my feet, quite filled with surprise. He sheepishly grinned and stepped back out of the way, but he seemed so polite that I asked him to play. He had a cute bear and some other toys too. With my shovel and pail, we had oodles to do. We ran to the creek and then on to the bay, where we played on the beach for the rest of the day. Mom waved and said, "Now it's time to go eat. Let's pack the red wagon and head up the street." It's hard to stop playing with friends, old or new, so I asked if the dragon could come to eat too. Mom wrinkled her brow and squinted her eyes, looking up at the dragon's incredible size. I begged and I pleaded, then said, very sweet, "We won't make a mess. We'll be tidy and neat." So at last she said, "Yes, just this once, I'll agree. You may have the dragon come over for tea." We had carrots and apples, thick slices of ham, with fresh homemade biscuits and strawberry jam, cold glasses of milk, and great big dill pickle. But the pepper we sprinkled sure made my nose tickle. Then the dragon's nose twitched, and he started to wheeze. His eyes misted up, and he blew a great sneeze. Chew! Well, we all know what happens when dragons chew. Flames shot from his mouth and from both nostrils, too. Our tablecloth sparked and then burst into flames, and the curtains that hung right beside did the same. The smoke alarm rang. What a loud, piercing sound. It meant get out fast, so I dropped to the ground. The room filled with smoke as I crawled on the floor and started to make my way to the front door. The dragon got scared and decided to hide, but I knew when there's fire, we must get outside. I grabbed his thick tail, and with one mighty tug, I pulled that dragon from under the rug. So in this part of the story, the dragon gets scared and he decides to go hide, right? But the girl knows they must get outside. So why should people go outside when there's a fire? Yeah, if you stay inside when there's a fire, you might get hurt. And we don't want that. I crept down the hallway and said, "Follow me. I know the way out. We must meet by the tree." So Mom and the dragon and I all met there. Then the silly old dragon went back for his bear. So when the girl and the dragon get outside, they meet the girl's mother by the tree. All right, I want you to think for a second. How do you think they know to meet at the tree? Yeah, families should have a place outside to meet if there's a fire, so they know that everyone is out of the building. Just like when we have fire drills, we have a special place that we go out and wait. That way everybody's together and we know that everybody has made it out of the building. We ran up and caught him and wouldn't let go. And I said, "Listen, dragon, here's what you should know. Don't ever go back. That just will not do. We can get a new bear, but we can't replace you." Since the fire was burning inside of our home, we went to the neighbors to borrow the phone. Mom knew what to dial and said, calm and clear, "Here's our full street address. Send the fire trucks here." So what should you do if you leave something inside when you leave the house because there's a fire? What should you do if you leave something behind that's so special? Yeah, you have to leave it there. And I know that might be really, really hard, but it's way too dangerous to go back inside the building. So you have to wait until the firefighters tell you that it's safe. Otherwise, you don't go back, not for anything. Before very long, down our street they came sailing with bright red lights flashing and loud sirens wailing. The fire crew rushed to start work on their tasks. They were dressed in big boots and wore helmets and masks. They hooked up the hose and ran into the house, where they sprayed streams of water in order to douse the table, the curtains, our lovely snack too. And it didn't take long till the fire was through. The fire chief called out the door with a shout. The smoke's made a mess, but the fire is out. My poor friend the dragon knew he was to blame, so he hung down his head and wept great tears of shame. One of the fire crew said, "Don't be sad. You knew what to do, and of that we're quite glad. You all got out safely. That's really what matters." Then she took us to see the big pump truck and ladders. The dragon put on a shiny red hat, and I asked to see where the fire crew sat. She showed us the siren, the hoses and lights, and the ladder they climb up to reach higher heights. The rest of the fire crew checked all the rooms, while a fan in the door blew out gray smoke and fumes. Then the dragon and we sat down for a while. I reached up and hugged him. He gave me a smile. The next time the dragon and I want to play, we'll pack up a picnic and go to the bay. We are friends, tried and true, the best we can be, but I'll never again invite dragons for tea. That was a good one. I liked it. It had great rhymes in it. Did you hear some of those rhyming words? There was a lot. So, why do you think that the girl decides that when she and the dragon play again, that they should go to the bay? Why do you think? Yeah, a dragon is an imaginary animal that breathes fire. So when the dragon in the story sneezes, flames shoot from his mouth and his nose. So maybe it's not the best place for a dragon to be inside, right? Probably much safer at the bay. And in our story where it says that flames shot out of his mouth and his nose, what do you think the word flames means? Yeah, flames are the fire. And where else might you see flames come from besides a dragon? Yeah, maybe the stove at home that you cook on has fire, the grill outside. If you have a wood burner in your house, then you see that the wood is on fire to provide heat for your house. Anybody ever roast marshmallows over a fire, a campfire for s'mores? There's lots of places where we see flames. Even if you pay attention when you're driving through Follinsby and you're going to Weirton, you guys might have noticed the big, tall cylinder that has the big flame shooting out of it from the mountain carbon plant. Yeah, I know my little boys were always fascinated by that. So there are other places where we can see flames. So when the girl asks her mother if the dragon can come over for tea, her mother says that she'll agree. What do you think the word agree means? Yeah, when someone agrees, then that means he or she said yes. Have you ever asked someone to do something and he or she agreed? I know my boys asked me to make them chocolate chip pancakes over the weekend, and I agreed. I said yes. So, I hope you enjoyed our book, No Dragons for Tea. We learned why it's not a good idea to have a dragon for tea, right? Yeah. All right, and I'll see you back in our next video for Math Moments. All right, guys, see you soon.